Starting this thing a little bit early, a couple of minutes really, but just gonna let some people pile on here and have a whole lot of fun. I'm still trying to learn that whole scheduling thing and all the messages and the little deals that have to do with this live deal. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun couple of days. What's going on, guys? Hey, David T, what's up, man? So anyway, a lot of changes. Spent all day getting my office totally rearranged. New backdrop, new everything. Moved my desk around. Gave my wife half my desk. So it's been a lot of fun. Still a lot more cleaning up to do. I'm not even going to turn this camera or this phone around because it's messy. I've got to rearrange and organize a whole lot of stuff, especially my camera equipment. So, oh, Manchester, England, what's up, man? What's going on? Happy New Year. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Man, I can't wait for that game. Anyway, so what's up? Nice. Thanks, John, man. Appreciate it. Every little dollar helps these days. That's awesome, man. What's my favorite 13 fishing jig rod? Is a 7'3" medium heavy or a 7'3" heavy, depending on what I'm doing. But I usually go for the medium heavy first. And if I'm fishing heavy cover, I bump it up to the heavy. But for some reason, I like a 7'3". I don't know why, but it's just one of my favorite lengths for jigs, for flipping and pitching and that kind of stuff. So Happy New Year, Kevin. So, am I going to make my way to Missouri this year? I don't know if I'm going to go. I might travel through Missouri. I've got to make a West Coast swing this year, and that's going to be expensive. I'm heading down to Florida in a couple of weeks. Going to spend a little bit of time down there. That's kind of my plan. The West Coast swing is going to be a long one too, and so I gotta see what my budget is and see if I can do anything else other than that. Other than that, I might do a whole lot of short trips. So fishing up in Minnesota. I'd like to do some ice fishing. I don't know if I'll get a chance to do it this year. It just depends on my schedule. I'm definitely going to La Crosse, Wisconsin, and going to spend some time up there and fish the Mississippi River. I didn't get a lot of time to fish it this last year, and I really want to. So, dude, I saw Stephen Parks, and I thought it was a buddy of mine. Hey, Stephen, how's it going, man? I thought it was the inventor of the Rage Tail. It says, what is the time frame on the Concept Z review? I'm waiting. Actually, after I get done with this, I've been having a hard time filming it, mainly because of little issues here and there. Autofocus issues, things like that, things I really couldn't control until I got in and looked at the card. After I get off of here, I'm gonna finish with the outro and the last little opinion stuff, and then send it off to my editor, and it'll be done hopefully by Monday. And if it's done by Monday, I'll put it on just as soon as I get it. You guys are gonna be impressed. Of course, I love that reel. Absolutely love it. It's all it's cracked up to be. Surprisingly, you guys know I went into it when I was skeptical, and it has definitely proven that it is the real deal. So, is it a game changer? I don't know. I think the bearings are a game changer. The reel itself, it's just something to hold those bearings. But I don't have any problems with it. It's got great drag. It cast well. It's an amazing reel, just like all the other concepts. But I just think that it's the beginning of what the future is, which is what I'm trying to say. So pretty cool. Have I fished Lake Jackson? Not in several years. I used to fish the Tuesday nights and the Friday nights there years and years and years ago, but not in a long time. So, hey Gideon, what's up, man? How are you? Cool. Tell your old stepdad or your future stepdad. I don't even know if they've got your mom and him got married. Tell them I said hi. Let's see. Thanks, Isaac. I appreciate it, man. He said that I'm by far his favorite YouTuber. Would love to see Flukemaster 13 fishing rod. I actually designed a rod for him. It doesn't have my name on it. I'm just not really that kind of a person that wants to throw my name on products. I'd rather help behind the scenes. But that 6.5 heavy in the Muse Black line is the one that I designed. It's my frog rod, dock skipping rod. Something that I didn't feel like any other company in the industry had that is really an amazing rod to fish with. So fishing Lake Lanier, not any plans, but I go whenever. So Um, let's see. Hey Alex, what's up? You guys go subscribe to Alex Fishing TV. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Gene, what rod do you recommend for the Z? Dude, anything really. It's gonna be an all around rod. I know the left hand's coming in 7-3 to 1, and the right hand's coming in I think all three 6-6, 7-3, and 8-1. Um, and really I put 50-pound braid on it to start with and fished it heavy, and then I put 15-pound fluorocarbon on it, checked, fished with it. It's going to be, I tell you where it really it surprised me with that 15-pound fluorocarbon is I threw a weightless fluke further than I've ever thrown with a bait caster with that thing. I was just amazed. I didn't think that it would be able to throw that smooth and that light of a lure that far and be that smooth. So um, that's what I think it's going to shine is when you're throwing those really light lures. But it also handles half-ounce, three-quarter-ounce jigs. I didn't throw any swim baits on it, but I did catch that 40-pound black drum on it. So definitely a good reel for just about anything from what I've seen so far. Let's see. Alex Maurer wants a shout out. Um, let's see. Paul, you didn't miss anything. Don't worry about it. But the Concept Z, I'm filming the last part of it tonight. Gonna send it to you as soon as I get done with it. So that's my editor. Anyway, I can only afford two poles. What line is the best overall? I would get 15-pound. If you can only afford one pole, I'm not going to tell you to go buy a $25 spool of fluorocarbon. Buy a rod, buy a reel, and then put 15-pound line on it, 15-pound monofilament or anything, and just go fishing. Don't worry about the details. Details get expensive. So the biggest thing is just get out there on the water and go fishing. What is the biggest fish ever caught? What was it, and how much did it weigh? I caught a 250-pound, or between a 225 and a 250-pound Goliath grouper this year. That one right there. I don't know if you guys can see that because of the lighting, but you'll see it in a video coming up here on the 31st, my year-end review. But I caught it out of a kayak, and so you guys will see that video, like I said, in just a few days. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it. Anthony Moore asked, I need a good blade bait. Oh, man. I'll tell you what you do. Go to Bass University, and they just did a video on a blade bait, and that guy designed and sells the best blade bait on the market, and I cannot remember the name of it. But it's on Bass University TV, and it's the only video they have strictly about blade baits. And it's a pretty long video because it was an Ike Live, or it was a Bass U Live, so you have to kind of go towards the end to see it. But definitely worth you going and checking it out. It's a good blade bait. It's got 4 holes, so it's a lot more versatile. And then, man, they all catch fish, but I just think that one's the best one. 13 fishing frog rod recommendations. If you're not fishing mats with it, the 6.5 heavy that I designed for them, the Muse, it's 180 something bucks. But for me, I love the shortest frog rod that I can actually get. So a heavy action with a lot of tip, and it'd be a good rod. So Happy New Year's, man. I just saw one from Steven, my buddy. When and where are you doing a Bass University classes? I don't do Bass University classes. We haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm going to be taking their seminars off of their website and doing videos about them, showing how I take it. Hey, Alex, thanks, man. Yeah, that's what I love about Alex's fishing is that he says thanks, Gene. You are still the best fishing YouTuber. Staying true. That's what I like about Alex is he's himself, and I really do. He doesn't go crazy. He's the same person on the camera as he's off. So. Ever fished Lake Murray in South Carolina? Yes, I used to live in Augusta. I'd go there about once a year. Any advice on buying a boat for the first time? Travis Mosley asks. Get one you can afford. My first boat cost me $1,000. It was a 14-foot John boat with an old 8-horse tiller on the back, and I fished big lakes, little lakes, anywhere I could with it. So, DTX Angler, thanks for the $2, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, 2018 is going to be really, really awesome. This thing must be lagging a little bit because I'm getting a whole flash of of comments. Trevor he says you're my hero. Thanks, man. Never fished Kansas, Dayton. Let's see, Gideon. When are you gonna come down and see Craig and hang out? Get with me on Instagram, man. If I'm in the area this next month, I'm gonna come hang out. I'm planning a several week-long trip down to Florida next month. So, Justin, I've met your mom. If she was the one that worked there 3 years ago. Justin says my mom works at the Augusta Scout Shop. I guarantee I've met her. William, thanks for the $5, man. He says just got an Ascend 128T kayak. Any tips on rigging? The biggest thing is don't try to do it all at once. Look at a lot of people's rigging, the way they rig a lot of different things, and then figure out what works best for you. For instance, I have that little what they call it, anchor trolley or anchor wizard, and it winds up my anchor. Chad Hoover likes his way out in front of his foot. I don't. I can't bend over that far. I like mine back over here, and it still doesn't get in the way. You just got to figure out what works best for you, and don't be in a hurry to rig it. Make sure you got something to put your tackle in, something to put your rods in, and something to put water in, and the rest of it you'll play around with, and you'll get it. So somebody asked, will I be at the Classic this year? Yes. Whew, I'm talking too fast. Short man problems. Any news about the 13 Fishing Origin TX? You know what? I really haven't been following that reel. So I really do not know. And I'm going to adjust this because the top of my head is totally cut off. There we go. Oh, DTX gave me another $2. Any collabs with other fishing YouTubers soon? You know what? I'm looking for collabs. As I travel, I'd like to stop off for a day or two at people's places and fish with them. It's just something I've been real hesitant to do since I fished with the Googans a couple of years ago. Not busting on them, just it wasn't a fun experience. So we will definitely. I'm all for it, dude. I'd love to do as many collabs as I possibly can. Am I from Georgia? Georgia, yes. I was raised here. Been here since I was 3 months old, except for the time I was in the Army. What's my opinion on Pinnacle reels? I don't have any current opinions. The last Pinnacle reel I used was probably 10 years ago, and it was horrible. That's all I got to say about that. But it was 10 years ago, so I don't know what they've done since then. Where's my favorite place to fish? Alex asked. My favorite place to fish is wherever the fish are, man. I'm not picky at all. Okay. John Bolton asks a really good question. He says, I don't understand how the Concept Z is so smooth with 0 ball bearings. It has bearings. It doesn't have ball bearings. So what happens is the bearings are a brand new type of polymer that's literally maybe a year old. They've been developing it for 5 years. And that polymer is super tough, super heat resistant, super smooth, and it's the bearing. And so the fact that you don't have those balls rolling around inside that casing in a ball bearing, it's actually smoother, surprisingly smoother. That's the biggest thing about that reel. And I'm not going to get totally into it because I really want to get done with this review and have you guys watch it coming up. And I'm going to try to do a giveaway. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to try to do a giveaway. I don't have permission yet. I don't know. We'll see. But watch that video on Monday. What's my favorite lure to use on Lake Lanier? Drop shot. It's what I always have tied on Lake Lanier. Have I ever fished Lake Kiowee? No, I haven't. Seth Fultz, Gene, you're the best, man. Thanks, man. Pulling for Georgia over OU. Go Dogs. Thanks, Brandon. Sticking with the Georgia hat again. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to it and still promote Special Ops Survivor somehow on my videos. Thanks, David. Oh, David, get with me, brother, after the new year. Oh, man. Do you fish much in Alabama? Yes, I do. I love Gunnersville. My favorite lake is Wilson. Haven't had a whole lot of luck on Wheeler, but I like it. And then Pickwick is dynamite. So I'd love to go to those lakes, and I'm planning on doing a whole lot more traveling there this year because it's not far away. Favorite jig brand would be the Siebert Outdoors Flukemaster series. Yeah, that's my favorite. No, those are the ones that I designed for them. I designed all the colors. SeabirdoutDoors.com are my favorite jigs. They've always, before he even went public, he was making my jigs, and they've always been the best jig at that value. So that's the reason why I still stick with Seabird Outdoors jigs. Let's see. Any tips for fishing a lake you've never fished before? Yes, I have a bunch of videos about that, dude. You need to go watch the one I shot on Lake Wedowee. Basically, every time I go to a lake, whether I've been there before or not, I look at the watercolor first to give me an idea of how my lure selection, the color selection, the line selection, and then I go and look for bait fish. And where I find the food, I find the bass. I always say this in videos. You can find bait fish and not find the bass, but you will never find the bass without the bait fish. So look for the bait and then look for the bass. How the Inception reels, they're good. They're workhorses as long as you keep them clean. They have, I've got 4 that I've been beating up for 2 years, and they are really good reels. You need to make some new winter bass fishing. Yes, that's my start the new year, is do some winter bass fishing videos, that's for sure. I've got a bunch of them I want to do. I want to do an A-rig. I want to do a blade bait. I want to do one about a secret. It's not really a secret, but about one that isn't known very well, and I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to do the video. So tactical bassing is coming this year. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to go drop in on him in Cali, and we're going to do some fishing. How do we donate to you? It's called... Super Chat is what it's called somewhere. I don't know how it works. So, do you think those boat strip lights are worth it? Do I think the boat strip lights are worth it? I think the higher end ones are. I've been playing around with LED lights, and they're not. The cheap ones, you buy cheap, you're going to get cheap, and you're not going to get the good ones. I don't have any on my boat, but the ones that are cheap are horrible, and I've been messing with them for lighting and things like that just around the studio. No topic tonight, Al. We're just talking fishing. People are asking questions. I'm answering them. Francis Graves says, what's a good bait for river smallies right now? Ooh. For river smallies, I always go with something like a jerk bait or a small swim bait or a fluke or something like that. I don't do a lot of river smallie fishing, so. John Bolton says $sign in comments box is Super Chat. Okay. See, I've never done it. I've never followed somebody else's, so I don't know how all that works. CJ Alozi, if anyone needs a place to stay in Pennywise, ask Pennywise, he will. Huh? Wherever that is. Favorite kayak besides yours, Blake McBuyer vlogs. I love my Mayfly, dude. The big rig is pretty good. The Kusa, I'm not really used to the stability because I'm so used to having really stable kayaks. I'm really impressed with the new Bonafide. I haven't been in one yet, so I can't tell you whether I really love it or not. But looking at it with Chad and watching him, that big old dude, get up in one and mess around with it, it's an impressive kayak. So anything at the one outside of my own brand that I'm sponsored by, Bonafide, is really a good kayak. So would it be worth putting the Z bearings in an Inception? Yes. Charles asked my opinion on Diablo kayaks. I've never even looked at one, man. I'm sorry. What lures do you have luck with in the winter? My winter setup is pretty simple. Small hair jigs, big mop jigs with small trailers, blade baits, vertical jigging spoons, and a lead-headed fluke, baby fluke, and that's it. So I may try a Alabama rig this year because I hear they're really good in the wintertime. Can you just buy the Z bearings? Yes, you can. You have to go on their website. I don't know if they're going to fit your reel or not. I haven't looked at the sizes. What condition is the color, Chris Norris, what condition is the color Fire Tiger cranks good for? Muddy water, real dirty water is what I use them for. Grant Henderson, what's up, brother? Oh, he's talking about the Amigo. Cool. Yeah, the Amigo is sweet. Great for running shallow water. Cool. Brandon Alvarez, what's my opinion on six skill? I literally heard about six skill yesterday for the first time. I don't know. Got no opinion. Hunter Moon, how do I fish a spoon? A vertical spoon, it's just like I do use a drop shot. Look at them under the fish finder and drop down on them and bounce it up and down over top of them and watch them come up and hit it. So, best combo for under $300, Isaiah asks. Oof. I'm not good at math. I'd go with Concept A or a Z, which is 200, and then go with what is it? A fake chrome is what I would use. Bassin 911, get on the A-rig soon. Water temp in mid 40s is ideal. Caught an 8-1 the other day. Awesome. Yeah, dude, I need to break all mine out. One more time, please. How do I donate? Hit that little dollar sign that's somewhere on the chat button or on the chat deal. I'm fishing Logan Martin in the morning. What would you recommend to use and where? Oof. With this cold stuff hitting Logan Martin? Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about Logan Martin. I always have a Cinco tied on, and I always, this time of year, in that shallow of stuff. Oh, it's Logan Martin, not, never mind. I was getting confused. Spotted bass. Yeah, a jerkbait, and then a lipless crankbait might work tomorrow too, because it's not super cold there yet. At least the water's not. I know the air temperature is. What is my opinion on the favorite rods? You know what? I've only held a favorite rod once or twice, and the reels. The rods feel okay. They feel pretty good. The reels, at least the spinning reels that I played with, which were actually it was before Lake Fort guy had his surgery. Actually, just before he found out he had a tumor. I played around with his reels, and they did not feel good. I didn't like them. They wiggled really bad when you spun them. I don't know if they fixed that or not. The rods were pretty decent. They felt like about a $60 rod, $70 rod. And I don't even know what the prices are, but I don't know. I don't even know what model I had on. Stary Gary, thanks, man. Says, can I buy your new big rig torpedo mount? We need it for a couple of our vets with I don't have the torpedo mount anymore. It was a prototype, and it was pretty much trashed is what it was. They decided to go another direction. So sorry, man, or I'd give it to you because I'm not using it. Hunter Moon, good question. It says, people say not to even go out on the lake fishing in winds, but do winds actually affect the bite? We used to go out on lakes on Clark's Hill when we had the highest winds we could get away with without dying, and fish windy banks, fish windy points. It stirs up the bait fish, especially in the spring and the summer, and it gets the bass active and gets them feeding. Wintertime, I try to avoid it just because it's downright dangerous. You go in the water, you can die pretty quick. So it's one of those things where you just have to weigh the differences and be safe. I haven't used an Oldham spinnerbait. I've used an Oldham jig years and years ago. Should I get a 2500 or a 3000 Stratic with a 7-foot medium rod? I get a 2500. Those Stratics are, far as I know, they're fairly heavy compared to what I use, which is a Creed GT, and I usually use a 3000 Creed GT because it's light, but that's what I know. The Baitman TV, what's up, Baitman? I am so looking forward to go to Lake X with you this spring. Dude, you just don't even know. Who made the Flukemaster cartoon behind you? John Larson, from a friend of mine on Facebook, made it. How you like it? It's pretty cool. Shay Henderson asked, tips for tuning a reel, flipping, and pitching. I really don't loosen it up any different than what I do when I regular cast, because there's always somewhere between a dock or between whatever I'm pitching and flipping to cast to, and I'm afraid I'm gonna blow up the spool. So I loosen it up a hair, but not so much that I backlash it on a cast. Is how I do it. There's a lot of people that will loosen it up. I don't. Do I like the 59 to 5 rods? You know what? They're the exact same blank as the Hellbents were when they had the number 8 tackle, and I love those Hellbents. So I imagine that the fives are just as good. Thanks, Jerry Stevens. Appreciate the $2, man. Oh, the bait man says maybe the only time Tennessee can hang with UGA for a few years would be fishing at Lake X. That's hilarious. Need a good reel for dragging a jig, $100 range. For dragging a jig. Um, the Origin C from 13. Of course, I'm gonna say that because that's the one I have experience with. They sponsor me, but that's what I have experience with. It's a good reel. It's got 18 pounds of drag, so that's plenty for dragging a jig and setting the hook on a jig. It's a good reel. I'm testing it out. That's my next one to do a review on. Next reel to do a review on. I got a couple of rods from another company that I'm working on right now. Parker, favorite brand of bait casters is going to be 13 Fishing. Sorry, man, I'm sponsored by them, but I love their reels. I would not be with them if I didn't believe in them. If they were junk, I'd be going somewhere else. Let's see, Matt Wesley. Someone gives you $200 and your mission is to buy the best rod reel combo possible for the money and go. Simple. For just $200, I'm going to buy an $80 um, Creed. No, $80. Why did my mind just went blank? $80 fake chrome, and then I'm going to turn around and buy a $120 Inception. That's exactly 200 bucks. Let's see. DTX saying the tips for fishing a deep, clear lake in summer. It's a Cape Cod, Massachusetts, 10 plus foot of visibility, smallies and largemouth. My thought is that they don't really get super deep because the water doesn't get really, really hot. So deep really doesn't make a difference. I'm imagining since it's in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, there's probably grass in the lake. And if there's grass, there's bass. I always start with the outside edge and I move my way up. If there's smallmouth, they'll be in those little, the clearings, the hard bottom clearings that are in the grass. That's what I'd be looking for. If it doesn't have grass, I'm going to drops. I'm going from where the shallow water is closest to the deep water, and that's where I'll start. Or points if they have them. So, never fished Ohio. Are flukes productive in winter? Yes, they are. You just have to fish them really slow. What is that lime green rod you fish with? It's the new Fate Black Generation 2 from 13 Fishing. It's a good rod. It is a really good rod. It's green. I don't really like that bright color just because I don't like people to know what I'm fishing with from a long ways away, but it is a great rod. So, do I fish with any big swim baits? Yes. I was throwing an 8-inch or 9-inch bull shad the other day, a bunch. Got some fish to hammer it, but they never got it in their mouth. But they would not hit the 6-inch. So, best buzzbait. Also, what's the best budget reel for jigs and frogs? Indiana Anglin asks. Best buzzbait for me is I love a Cavatron by Mega Strike. And what's the best budget reel for jigs and frogs? It's going to be the Origin A, which is $80, I believe, or the Origin C, which is $100 from 13 Fishing. Do you recommend moderate action rods for jig fishing? No, I don't, unless you're fishing light wire jigs, so light wire hooks on a jig. I like a medium heavy fast action rod, mainly because if you're making really, really long casts with a football head that has a light wire, then I'd go with a medium heavy moderate, but that's getting really, really picky about how you set the hook. So, yeah. Boy, it is like flash. You guys are commenting like crazy. This is awesome. It like throws 50 of them past me, so I miss a bunch of them. Can I take my spool like in your how to cast video to learn how to skip? Yes, I would do that, definitely. What it does, it just saves you time. All it is. You're not picking out backlashes. Just give yourself a little extra line to know that you were going to backlash. So you and Matt Allen fishing on Clear Lake. The fish are gonna have lockjaw for a while. That's awesome. You guys don't know, I have known Matt Allen since bass fishing forum days, long before YouTube. So it's one of those things where it's going to happen. I am going to California to fish with Matt Allen because he has always been somebody I've admired over the years. So, William Benton, excuse me. Thanks for $5, man. Any good spinning combos for $100? Yes. I don't know about the combos though. Gosh, it's hard to find a good combo for $100. But the reels, any of the 1-3 reels would work really good, and they're less than 100. But I don't know about a combo, man. Sorry. Yes, John Bolton says I use the FG knot. Yes, that's what I use. Will I ever come fishing Minnesota? Um, I'm there quite a bit. That's where Alumacraft is. That's who sponsors me with my boat. And I love my Alumacraft, and I try to get up there at least once or twice a year. I'm going to be in La Crosse, Wisconsin, definitely at least for a few days this year, and I may have to swing up into Minnesota and do some fishing. So I'd like to get some ice fishing done, but I don't know. Um, Favorite fishing boat on bass is my Pro 185 from Alumacraft. So, holy crap, David Fields, thanks, man. You are awesome. Need some spots on the hill, and when will the green Fate rods be out? Keep up the good work. The green Fate rods are currently available at Dick's Sporting Goods that I know of. The other ones should be. You can get them at Tackle Warehouse. But I'm not privy to a lot of that information. But spots on the hill. Get with me on Facebook. I can give you a few, at least for certain times of the year. It's been a long time. So it seems like forever since I fished that lake. What is my take on side scan? Is it important? It's a very, very big advantage if one, you can afford it, and you have to get the biggest screen that you can possibly get. When you got side scan, and I got them when they first came out on the Humminbirds, and I got them in like the 8-inch screen. I couldn't see crap for detail. So you got to have a big screen to be able to make it as big as you can to see the most detail on the side imaging. If not, you're just throwing your money away, in my opinion. Are the Fate rods better than the Omen? No. The Omen's a little bit lighter. It's going to have better guides, more expensive guides, and more expensive reel seat and handle and everything else is just because of the price increase. So that's, with rods, you pretty much get what you pay for, really, at least for the most point. And the reason I love 13s is because they always feel and they always perform like a rod that's a lot more expensive than they really are. Right now, John Bolton is right. Right now, I use Garmin Electronics, but we will see. I'm talking to Lawrence right now, and I'm talking to Ray Marine. So we'll see if that changes. I'm trying to get with a good company so I can start making instructional videos for them. So if I could catch a world record bass or solve world hunger, what length rod would you use? Come on, Trip. How do you set up your transducers on your Garmin's? That's something I have to make in a video. It really can't explain it. It had to be something that one thing about electronics and fish finders is you've got to learn how to adjust them on the fly. And if it's not a really good, if it can't easily be adjusted on the fly, I don't want to use it. And so it's one of those things where you change according to depth, you change according to speed, you change according to water clarity. You get really, really muddy, nasty water coming down a river, it's going to look different. So you adjust according to a lot of different things. So that's the reason why I want to make videos about that. Let's see. What are my bucket list lakes? I don't really have any, except for maybe a couple in Mexico. What do I think about fishing straight braid on a jig or fish with a fluorocarbon leader? If you fish straight braid on a jig with a heavy action rod or a medium heavy action rod, just make sure you got a beefy hook or you'll bend it out. I do that when I'm fishing heavy cover, muddy water, stuff like that. So, what rod does 13 Fishing make for about $100 using it for jerkbaits, square bills, crankbaits, and okay, and that dive a maximum of 15 feet. So in that comment, you're talking about two different rods. Anything from 12 to 15 feet is going to have going to be a heavier crankbait, and you're going to want to throw it on a medium, heavy, moderate rod. 7'4", 7'6". If you want to get longer cast, you get a longer rod. The other ones, the other stuff like a jerk bait and a square bill and stuff like that, medium, moderate, or medium fast action rod. And those are the ones I would go with. 13 Fishing's $100 rod is their Fate Black. Their $80 rods, they're Fate Chrome. So, and both of those brands have those models. Both of those models have those rods. Sorry. The Omen is 110. Yes, it is. Am I planning on fishing out of a yak more in 2018? Yes. I'm going to do some kayak adventure trips. I'm going to do, I've got a bunch of stuff planned with a kayak for sure. I'm going to go to some lakes in the country that only allow like electric boats and kayaks and canoes, and kind of highlight them too is one of the things I want to do. How to get your wife to like fishing video. I haven't mastered that one yet, brother. Steven, you're a clown, man. I have not mastered that one. Let's see. How big of a donation would it take to get you to shoot a video in the 3D animal face shirt? Grant, you're a freaking nut. Oh, man. Vince, what's up, man? What's up, Gene? Snowing in Illinois. That's right. I saw your Facebook post, man. That doesn't look like fun, especially those little curvy lines with the semi trucks have been driving. Those doesn't look like I want to be anywhere near that. Let's see. Tackle Warehouse still has a few 6'6" medium heavy blackouts for $40. Yes, they do. The last of all of them. If you had to add light on the kayak, where would you install them at? Now, I thought about that because I wanted to do that on a boat this year, because I'm going to be doing a lot of crazy big water fishing and things like that. Is just navigational lights. I want other people to see me. I've got that YOLO-Tech light. It's a really bright one, plugs up to my battery, plugs up next to my camera, and I can see the world with it. I just want people to see me, so a red and green navigational light up front, and of course my Visit Carbon Pro from Yak Attack in the back with the light on the back of that. So that's the only reason I see it to have lights on the boat. Crystal says, Gene's the man. Thanks. It's Gene though. What do I think about Abu Garcias? I have not messed around with Abu since the Gen 3s, and I didn't like those. That's why I kind of got away from them. I have all Gen 1s. Oh, I had them on my desk. They're gone now. But I had all Gen 1s, and I still have them. They're in a box. Don't know what my plans are in California yet, Nicholas. I'll get to that as soon as I know. Am I going to the KBF Top 10? Yes, I'll be down there at Bienville. So yeah, and that reminds me, there's actually a really cool opportunity down at Bienville Plantation in Florida. It's in White Springs, Florida. We're having a members only KBF tournament. Now, the way, if you're not a member of KBF, you go to kayakbassfishing.com, join, and then for $200, you get to fish Bienville Plantation for 2 days. You get to pre-fish one day and fish it for 2 days. And $100 goes into the pot, and $100 goes to Bienville. And oh my goodness, what an opportunity. We're putting those people, the people that are fishing the members only tournament, on the two best lakes on the property. And somebody's going to catch a double digit. I promise you that. So that's what you do. What's my thoughts on the biffle bug in winter? I've never fished a biffle bug. I know old Tommy Biffle does, but I've never fished it. I've looked at them and I'm like, I don't really need them because I got a bunch of other creature baits that'll work. So, Chris Galloway sold. Yeah, man, just you got to be a member of KBF. So the biggest thing is to go over, and it's a kayak tournament. It's not a boat tournament. Forgot to tell you that. But you got to have a kayak. But yeah, what an opportunity to do that, man. Plans for fishing California? Well, fishing in 60 feet depths and bass holes. I don't know what I'm gonna do in Cali. Have I ever used a favorite rod? No, I haven't. I've held one, played around with one. I played around with some spinning reels, but that's it. I need to grab them and do a review on them. But I want to make sure my reviews are pretty fair before I really venture out too far away from my sponsor stuff. I got to get some tests and ways to test out rods to make them all fair. Uh, will Chad share one of his kayaks? I think Chad's only got one kayak now. No, I bet he's got two. He's got to have a wilderness systems. What jigs for winter? Trevor asks. I actually my favorite jig in the wintertime is um, a jig that you drag, so like a football head jig with a living rubber skirt, big heavy living rubber skirt, brown, and with nothing else but just a small trailer on it. Is my favorite one. So John Bolton asks, "How's the Mayfly on the river?" It is a great riverboat. It's not as maneuverable as like a Kusa because a Kusa was designed for the river, but man, I love it on the river, and it actually drafts shallower than the Kusa. Favorite all-time lure? I don't have one. I let the bass tell me what lures they want. Favorite color jig trailer after green pumpkin, black and blue. I have two different color trailers that I use: green pumpkin and black and blue. And if I want to change the color, I just use some JJ's Magic. Would you rather fish out of a kayak or out of a Little John boat? Oof. Right now, a kayak out of than a Little John boat. Now, if I'm on big lakes, I want my Alumacraft. I want 115 horses behind me. I want to be able to get out there and be safe and be able to have enough room to be able to video and stuff like that. But if I had to go back to that 14-foot John boat, it would be tough because I'm pretty spoiled now. But between a kayak and that, I love. It's going to be a kayak every time. So Seth Foltz, how do I plan a fishing trip? I kind of say, hey, I want to go there. And then I look for a campsite and I go there. And that's how it works. It's kind of crazy when you do this full time. There's a lot less planning involved. So I pretty much can go whenever, wherever I want, as long as it doesn't hurt my family any. So Raymond Brown, if you had to choose one line weight for a casting reel, what would it be? 15-pound test, without a doubt. That's what I use more than anything. Is 15-pound test fluorocarbon. For if you're going to use mainline braided line, I learned the hard way last year. I tried 30-pound on all of my reels, and it backlashed too easy because the diameter was too small. So this year I'm either going up to 40 or 50. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to put 40 and 50 on reels and see. It just was really easy to backlash. It was crazy. Robert, where's the Bassmaster Classic going to be this year? It's going to be on Lake Hartwell, and the expo is going to be in Greenville, South Carolina. Do I use electronics on my kayak? Yes. I don't have them on mine right now. I have been too lazy to put it on, but that I definitely do love to have electronics on my kayak. And Jackson actually has underneath one of the scupper holes has a place for your transducer, which is pretty neat. The kayak fishing guy asked, "What did you do before YouTube work-wise?" I shot X-rays in a trauma hospital for 13 years, and then I shot X-rays in the Army for 6 years, and that was my job. So I specialized in orthopedic surgery. But in the trauma center, there was only 4 people on shift. It was a huge hospital, so I pretty much did everything. That was my job, and I loved it. Never hated it a day. Best whopper popper color, I either go with bone white or I go with black. And those are the 2 colors that I use. Go-to treble hooks for jerkbaits would be the Mustad wide gaps, short shank wide gaps is what I use. Why do I have such an issue with the green SmackDown line? I have no issues with the yellow. It may have to do with diameter of the line. That's kind of what I learned the hard way this last year. What's my thoughts on Lowrance Hook 2 Series fish finders? I have not messed around with them. Chad Hoover loves them, and he knows a lot more about fish finders than I do. He really likes them, so I'd have to go on his opinion. What's the best combo for 13 fishing for $1,000? Oh, you're gonna have to go look at their Japanese models. I can't even remember what they call them, but they do make some pretty high end stuff that sells mostly in Japan. Favorite braid is Smackdown, Cigar Smackdown. What? Chris Galloway, I got you, bro. Good redfish fishing spot for the first timer. Anywhere in Louisiana, find a boat ramp, pay the money if they ask for money, and go fishing. Get up shallow, take a kayak because a kayak will go a lot more places than one of them big boats will go. So am I coming back to Gunnersville anytime soon? I haven't got any plans, but it's only an hour and 20 minutes from my house, so it's one of the closer lakes. Do I still use Isoline copolymer? I don't use it since I got sponsored by Cigar, but it's still the best copolymer on the market by far. So definitely, if you're looking for a copolymer line that's inexpensive, that's what you should go with. Does Georgia have a football team this year? We will find out on Monday. I'm jealous. My brother-in-law's going to the game. But anyway, would you ever come up to Indiana? Yeah, I mean, I plan on doing a lot of traveling over the next few years. So let's see. Vile crawl or rage crawl? Both. All right, I gotta find one I can read. Okay. Edwin Leva asks, fake chrome, 7'3", medium heavy, only up to a 5/8 ounce lure rating, or is that a typo? That's a little over half medium heavy. That's got to be a typo. Got to be if it's a 7'3" medium heavy. Yeah, you must be looking on their website. Their website, there's like two parts of their website. One is kind of an older part, and it's got a bunch of errors and things like that. The new part it probably still has some errors, but not nearly as many as what I've seen. Will I ever do a hunting video? Probably not. I don't get to hunt much anymore. I used to hunt every day of the season, and not anymore. Austin, in-depth boat tour video. I plan on doing that here very shortly. Lake Four Guy and you on Comandero. Man, that would be awesome. I'm so jealous that they got a chance to go down there. I've been wanting to go with Steve Parks for a couple of years and just have not been able to put it together. I may have to call him and fuss at him and tell him next time he goes to call me. But we've been talking about it for 2 or 3 years. Just haven't done it. I've been friends with Steve Parks for a long, long, long time. Can't believe I spent $1,500 on 5 Shimano's. Golly. No freaking way I would do that. Can you do a review on the Daiwa Tatula rod because I cannot find any reviews on it? There's not a whole lot of people doing reviews right now. I may have to. Concept Z review coming out probably Monday. Paul probably isn't on here anymore, but he's my editor, so I'm going to send him to him here in just a minute. We're at 48 minutes. We're going to do this till for another 10 minutes or so. 12 minutes, and then we're going to get off of it. So who's my favorite UFC fighter? Clay Guida is my favorite UFC fighter. Why? Because I don't watch UFC, but I got to fish with him, got to know him, and he's an awesome dude. So shout out to Clay if you're watching. He's my boy, man. We're gonna every time I get up north and I forget to call him, he wants to reach through the phone and kill me. So definitely, you guys gonna see him in a video one day. Let's see. How many times have I gone ice fishing? Once. Actually, no, twice. It was one big trip, but I was all over the place. I was in Lake of the Woods for 3 days with 13 fishing. Then I went down to Wisconsin and fished with Eric Hadia, one of the guides down there who's a member of the Alumacraft Pro staff, and we had a blast. I loved it. So, John Tay Bishop, what are your thoughts on Bama versus Clemson? I hope Bama kills them because I want Georgia to play Alabama in the championship so bad it ain't even funny. I just want that, and I think that'd be a cool championship. But anyway, that's football. You do any deer hunting this year? No. I've been tempted to step out of my back door with my rifle and shoot deer that are in the back of my field, but I haven't done that yet. So feel free, or Hobie. Philippe Aurea collab with Tactical Bassin. It's coming. Hopefully this year. I haven't contacted him. Well, he actually we talked a little bit about it several months ago. So, but it's definitely going to happen. I just need to travel out there. Personal best bass, Soccer Slayer. What's up, bro? I played soccer for 22 years, and really had a good time doing that. Should have gone pro, but decided to join the army anyway. But anyway, what's up? My personal best bass was 10 pounds 12 ounces. How thick should the ice be to ice fish? For to walk on 4 inches, to drive on is 12, I believe. No eye bobber, get the deeper. Actually, whew, almost knocked that off the wall. That's what I recommend. The sonar phone. That's the one I use. I use them in my kayak when I don't have a fish finder. That's what I recommend it because it's more like a real fish finder, and it's a lot more accurate. And it's only $100. Whew. Let's see. What's my favorite sport? College football. Would I consider? I've collabed with a Lake Fork guy before, and yes, I would do it again in a heartbeat. Him and I have been friends for a long time. Uh, yeah, he's a good guy. I really do like him. I like what he's done over the last few years, and I'm so glad he's recovering well from that brain tumor. That could have gone really bad. Do I ever use a first 13 fishing trip shot? All the time. I've got a couple of videos. I use extra spools for extra lines. So I don't have to keep taking expensive braid and fluorocarbon off of spools. I just pull one out and drop a new one in. Um, let's see. Hi, Tom. How's it going, man? Let's see. We got 9 more minutes. How many kayaks do I have? Currently, I have two skippers, Jackson skippers for my kids. They are their children's kayak. I have a Kusa HD and I have a Mayfly, so four. So good night, Cameron. Tyreek, I would love to fish for snakeheads, dude. I'm gonna get down close to that area, but not quite this next month. But if I make another trip down there and way down south, I'll definitely go fish for snakeheads. I need to get down there and see my boy Chef Anthony, that's down in where's he at? Tampa Bay? No, he's other side of the state. Anyway, he's down south of Okeechobee. Jonte asks, what's in store for 2018 videos? I got several things. One thing that people are starting to talk about is I'm going to start doing drop-ins where I just kind of sneak up on somebody's house that I know is a fan. I set it up with his loved ones, parents, whatever beforehand, knock on the door, throw them in the boat, and we go fishing. That's going to take a lot of logistics, so I don't see myself doing very many of those this year. But as I get better and better at them, and as the word gets out, and I figure out how I'm going to choose people, because right now I have 3 people in mind, and they were chosen from word of mouth. But anyway, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do kayak challenges. I'm going to do a bunch of instructionals. I hope to start doing 3 videos a week or a video every 3 days, and a whole bunch more review videos over on my review channel. So MTB stuff is going to evolve into something else. I don't know. I've got ideas, but I haven't quite come up with what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go back to a challenge type deal and figure out what I'm going to do with that. So Richard Lovett, I would love to fish with you. You are an excellent fisherman. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. What's my favorite fish? The kind that swims in the water, dude. I don't discriminate. I promise you that. Soccer player says, keep doing these every Friday night. If I'm home, if I've got a Wi-Fi signal, I'm going to do these every Friday night, and they're going to be called Friday Night Live. So you're definitely going to see them again in the future. Just a fun thing to do on Friday night. So Vincent Young asks, do I fly fish? I grew up fly fishing. My dad made me a custom fly rod when I was 8 or 9 years old. I used to be the only fly fisherman you'd see in North Georgia throwing flies, and now everybody does it. But it was a blast. I learned to tie my first fly when I was like 3, And so it's just something I haven't done in a while. It's just more added expense trying to get a fly rod. 3 or 4 fly rods to match everything, and the lines are expensive. It just got really expensive. So Auburn Tigers says you're my favorite Flukemaster. Go Dogs! Y'all whipped our butts that first game. Good grief. Anyway, what's your go-to kayak for 2018 is going to be the Mayfly. I just love that freaking boat. They've got the Nukusa FD out, which is a great pedal drive. I just love the Mayfly, and I can't wait till the Liska comes out, which is going to be it's kind of a shrunken, less expensive version of the Mayfly. So I can't wait to see that one and get in it and paddle it around. So am I going to fish Chickamauga again this year? Not this year, Raymond, but I might do it in 2018. No, it's one of my favorite lakes, dude, and it's literally my home lake. It's only an hour and 20 minutes up the road. That's where I like to go, so... Let's see. Hunter Moon. Actually, Bassenwood Gabe says, when should I throw my baits on mono? When you need your bait to float. Top water, it's good to have mono or braid. And then, like a Carolina rig, if you're fishing a Carolina rig in the grass, I'd have a little bit of mono on that leader. So there was one more I wanted to... Good grief, all these comments. You guys are killing me. Woo! Awesome. Why do I choose aluminum boats over fiberglass? Because this is Hunter Moon. Because they say fiberglass has more storage and rides smoother than aluminum. Cost per day is the reason why I fish an aluminum boat over a fiberglass boat. I went from a fiberglass boat when I used to borrow JJ's with a Mercury on the back, big Merc 250 or 225 Mercury, $120 a day in gas, anywhere from 80 to 120. Let's just put a range on it. And I went to aluminum boat, and I went down to $40 a day with a 2-stroke 90 horse on the back. And it's a 90 horse, I understand that. Then I bumped to a 115 4-stroke, that Yamaha, and now I'm spending $20 a day on gas in the boat and a lot less money pulling it around the country. So that's why I use aluminum over fiberglass. I don't need a big fiberglass boat. My Alumacraft has a boatload of storage. I can fit 25 rods in it, all my tackle, all my camera equipment, life jackets, extra life jackets, fish, everything I need goes in that boat. It's got plenty of storage. So for people to say it's got more storage than a fiberglass, only if it's a bigger boat, because that Alumacraft has a ton of storage because I helped design the layout of the 2018, and I'm a little partial. Let's see, 3 more minutes. The Winter Haven chain. I'm going to write that down. Hold on a minute. I don't have anywhere to write it. I cleaned off my desk. Dadgummit. I'll remember that. I'm coming down next month, so I'd love to fish some new places. So, some people, pros, advise to use mono for the super deep crankbaits. What do you think about that? I don't recommend it. I fish fluorocarbon most of the time because it gives me the maximum amount of depth that I can possibly get on that crankbait. And so I don't use mono at all for that, and I don't see why you would want to use it except for the added stretch. So you'll lose fewer fish with monofilament just because that added stretch keeps the fish buttoned. They can't knock you into a slack line, but you also use a flimsier rod because to prevent that too. So, Owen asks, when do I need to use braid? I use braid on a lot of my reels, and they just put on a monofil or a fluorocarbon leader. But if you want to use straight braid, it's when you're flipping heavy cover, fish, grass, wood, skipping docks, stuff like that, and muddy water where you can get away with it. So, let's see. Dave Elkins asks if I'm going to be at Cherokee Lake, Tennessee anytime soon. I don't know. I haven't really looked at where I'm going to go in 2018. I guess I could probably make a list, but that usually changes. So you just never know where I'm going to end up. I've got a few things that are in the works, but nothing's really serious. Am I planning on fishing any of the KBF trail events next season? No, I don't really fish kayak tournaments. I really don't have time. If I go to fishing tournaments, man, I'm going to stop shooting videos because I'm going to put 110% of my time into winning tournaments. And I know that I would not be a happy man doing it. So, Paul Buse Fishing says, "Are you going to come to La Crosse, Wisconsin, 2018?" I have the plans to. I've got to go. I've got to call a buddy up there who's on the city council, or he's what he not city council, but he works in the city offices, and we're going to work some stuff out. And I'm going to get up there for quite a bit of time and just fish the Mississippi River. So, let's see, what brand of braid do I suggest? I love Seagar Smackdown. It's a little expensive, but it's worth it because I can make it last for 2 years. And so Smackdown is smooth braid. It's clean coming through the guides. It lasts a long time. Just a really, really good braid. So let's see. All right, guys, I'm going to answer one more question and be out of here. Does 1.3 make a heavy rod under $100? Yes, they're actually that 7 foot. How big is that one? That 7.3 heavy fake chrome is an amazing heavy action rod. I really like it. When they used the same Blake for the blackout rod when they were making blackouts, and that's the one rod that's a blackout that I will still fish with, and still have on the boat. But yeah, that fake chrome black heavy is really, really good. So, all right, guys, it's been a great, great time. I enjoy doing this. It's 10 o'clock. I got to go get ready for bed. You're going to see these a lot more. It's going to be, Friday Night Lives. I'm going to try to do these every single Friday. I post on Instagram to let you guys know I'm doing it, and on Facebook. Sorry if I didn't get to all your questions. Be sure to check out my Fishing Shirt of the Month Club. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't hit that bell next to the subscribe button, hit it. Turn on your notifications so you know I've got videos. You guys are awesome. I really, really enjoy teaching you guys and showing you guys my fishing life. So like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out in the water. Go out and catch some fish and have a great day. We'll see ya.